Hi everybody, it's Gemma here from the Small Business Saturday team. We're in Hereford still, and I'm joined by Chris from the DM Lab. Thank you so much for letting us come and chat to you. Small Biz 100, finalists for Small Awards, you've got all these different accolades. Talk to me a little bit about the business that you've got and what you guys do here.
So I suppose we're quite lucky, to be honest with you, Gemma, and thanks for coming around to see us. So the DM Lab is a digital marketing agency. We've been established since about 2010, and it started off with just Dale and I, kind of as business partners, and we've now evolved into the agency that you see here with 6 staff, working with lots of small businesses across the UK, not just in Herefordshire.
Yeah.
And yes, we're multi award winning. Sounds really big-headed, but it's not meant to be. But we're very lucky to be involved in the Small Business Saturday Awards. We've done a few different awards as well. So very much about supporting small businesses as much as we can.
Amazing. And there is a real sense of small business community here in Hereford, but we were talking before we came on camera that you're not just dealing with people of Hereford, people across. So talk to me about the kind of businesses that you deal with and the span of that as well.
Oh wow, that's a really good question. So I actually tried to count our clients the other day, and I lost count after a couple of hundred. So I think that's probably legacy there for over 13 years. But we actually work with global clients, national clients, and local clients, and they span all industries from well-being, health, to food, to retail, to business to business. Almost every single sector that I think you could name, we have worked with at some point.
Yeah.
But we're primarily, so we work online, so we work with a lot of retail as well. And as I said to you before we got on the camera, we're very much about kind of understanding how both real world and digital world can sort of work together.
Yeah. It's a big thing for small businesses at the moment, isn't it? So you were speaking again before we came on camera about the kind of challenges for somebody maybe based in a rural sort of location. So talk to me about how you kind of work with that and what the opportunities might be.
Yeah, so that's a good one. So I think that Hereford's a good example of that. We've got a really good, thriving business community here. Naturally, one of the biggest issues that we face, we are rural, we're sort of in the middle of nowhere, but that's also one of the best things about the city. But the advantage we've got these days is that the digital world is kind of bridging that gap. So it's making the world smaller, right? We all know that. So it means that you can be a small local business in Herefordshire and still have a global presence, which is phenomenal. I mean, I literally remember working from a garage, working with people in America and Denmark and stuff like that. So, and that kind of is the opportunity that we now face. Is that we can go, well, actually, I can just work in Hereford and and bring people to my door, or ultimately just work online. So and actually, I think through good digital presence, you can drive tourism, footfall, all these different things. And there is some really good facts around people who actually have a retail experience and then go on digital, and vice versa. So it's really, and I'm just talking retail as one part. That's also applies to businesses who are just selling to businesses. So that's what we do, is work on that strategy of, right, okay, how do we get people to your door, or how do we get people to do business with you? And I think if people do that collectively, especially in this city, you then drive tourism, interest, and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah, of course, it all builds. We were chatting as well about AI, high streets, and that kind of thing. And I know there's probably a lot of people that think AI and online is the death of the high street, but you've got positive views on that. So talk to me about what you think, the good things that could be by combining those two things.
Well, I think that the problem you face is that digital is almost seen as the death of the high street, which we all know, and we do worry about that sort of stuff, and we've seen the high street change. But I actually think behavioural shift is what's kind of caused the high street to change. More human behaviour, in terms of just shopping behaviours, how accessible stuff is, plus also micro communities with stuff in their own sort of areas, and they don't need to go into the city. So I think innovative businesses, if they were using digital correctly, will inspire people to come into the city. So for example, when we talk about things like the metaverse and inclusive or sort of digital shopping experiences, you should be able to create that now, and that's where we are. So as technology and infrastructure gets better, we will inspire, I think, more people to come into the shopping world. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to put your shelves full of stock. It could be a different way of approaching approaching that sort of. You could be a building that you have the metaverse and a shopping experience inside that people will order online still. And there's lots of different innovative ways. People need to embrace digital because it's here. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. And I think AI is the same. I think if you use both in conjunction with your business successfully, you will increase business. And footfall doesn't always have to be about a shopping experience. I think that's what people got in their head, is that the whole when I was growing up, the high street was you go into town, do some shopping, visit a couple of shops, get out and do what you need to do then. Whereas we don't do that, and we haven't done that for a long time. I think so. We have to use digital in the right methods to now increase the shopping experience and also footfalls into the city.
you think the COVID experience has kind of given us the opportunity to get on board maybe quicker with that kind of thing? People have had a real sort of shift in, you know, how they do things and how they set things up.
So the big word for COVID was pivot, right?
Yeah,
so we use
diversify, pivot.
Yeah, pivot. And I use it several times myself, and we found a lot of people doing that. But it was understanding it again. It did again increase behavioural shift, you know, in terms of human behaviours. But it did make businesses have to rethink their strategies, and I've seen a lot of business off the back of COVID thrive.
Yeah.
You know, so people were going about the end of the world after COVID, and all businesses, and we've struggled. Look, we've had to be innovative and creative in how we change our businesses to keep businesses coming, right? So, you know, and I think that's what's happened is COVID has made us realise that even at the precipice of disaster, you know, we can come out the other side of it and learn from it, and that has shifted the change in the business model, I think, for a lot of digital model for a lot of businesses. You know, we just need to embrace that further. It has to form part of your strategy, if not a big part of your strategy. It doesn't complete the strategy. You know, so when we talk with customers now at the moment, we talk about things like good PR and human relations, networking, which you guys have done already today. You know, all that sort of stuff, which is part of what the Small Business Saturday stuff is all about, right? You know, so because the idea is you're bringing businesses together. So through people, you do business with other people and so on. So there is still all that going on. But digital has to kind of then be the catalyst or the sort of loop of that. You will find no matter what, you have an omni-channel or multi-channel digital experience going on, and that also then complements with real world. What's the driving force? You know, the thing that we talk about here is micro moments. You know, so if you think about something, you know, if someone's walking down the street and sees something, the micro moment will then drive them into a search query, search journey.
Right. Okay.
Do you see? So off-world and real-world marketing will then lead to digital marketing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Everything ties in together, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Yeah.
And if small businesses are watching this and they're thinking that this is kind of something they need to get on board with, or they need to work smarter on this, what can you offer to small businesses? What would they come to you for? How can we help?
So all of the above. So basically, we are a complete digital marketing company. Where we sit really well is kind of developing digital strategies for companies, getting their online presence up to scratch. We've got really good business knowledge because we've been around for a long time, so we do complement other areas, but we know where our skill set ends. So we specialize in things like social media marketing, you know, paid advertising, Google search, you know, website design. We do all the design and print and media and stuff as well. So we're a full design and digital company. And then we work really well with other companies, you know, in terms of PR and all that sort of stuff as well. So we build e-commerce websites down to lead generation websites. And we're all about making money for other people. That's kind of our job, I suppose. But it's all about growing the business.
Of course. So there's yourself, there's Dale, it's your daughter. So talk to me about the setup here of the team.
Yeah, so you come on a day that we've got some of our staff off on holiday. So but we've got 6 of us all together. There's 5 of us full time. So there's me, Dale, obviously the business partners. Then you've got Hazel. Yes, she is my daughter. She'll be cursing me for saying that. Who she's just doing an apprentice and just finishing an apprenticeship. Brilliant. So we've worked on an apprenticeship model. So Joe, Harvey, and Hazel have all been apprenticeships. And they've all come through the system. We've trained them up and taught them and done that sort of stuff. So Harvey's now doing his apprenticeship degree. That's what he's off today doing some of that. Joe's away on holiday at the minute. So then we have part-time staff that comes in and does some stuff here and there as well. So so we're very much kind of about taking people who want to learn and embrace digital. Bridging the skill set, you know, so like what we find, especially in Hereford, the city as well, is there's a bit of a gap between the digital world and kind of the skill set we need. So what we want to do is take young, inspiring people and take them into, well, in fact, young people and inspire them, but also who have aspirations themselves. And take them into the digital world, you know, by training them up in our own way and lots of stuff. And it works really well.
It's interesting you say that, because it was something that was touched upon up at the networking event this morning about the younger generation and sort of the skills they've got and, you know, and that kind of thing, and their willingness to learn, and that sort of, they're already in that world, aren't they, of AI and tech and stuff. So finding a business that can bring them on board, give them the proper training, and, you know, there's an industry there with lots of jobs, I imagine, available in the future, and something that's going to need people coming into it.
Exactly right. Exactly. I think that, you know, again, I suppose the traditional syllabuses at school probably need to catch up a little bit with some of the stuff that's going on in terms of the digital world. And we all know what you learn at academics is not always the same thing that you do in the business world. You know, so we do see that there's opportunity with youth who have, it's understanding they have the mindset of wanting to work hard. It's that ethos, right? I want to work hard, I want to learn. So if they want to learn, we'll teach them skills. You know, so, and I'm very passionate about that. I actually run a football club in the county. It's one of the largest football clubs in the county now, 600 players. And we're also part of the thing called the Skills Foundry, which we're developing, which is part of the Stronger Towns projects. which is where they brought 22.4 million to the city.
Brilliant.
And it's all about taking people who may not be overly succeeding in academic world and giving them the opportunity through skills and everything else to kind of improve their lives. We see that happening. It very much happens, you know.
There needs
so
to be that difference in route, doesn't it? Because just one style doesn't suit everybody.
It's the learning model, right? You know, and again, it's not me against academics. You know, I got a degree, I did that as a mature student. I think that what happens through, you know, learning at school is that we kind of have this process of, you know, nursery, primary school, secondary school, college, university, job. And the problem is if you deviate from that, it's almost as if you're failing. And that's a concern, right? So those people who are deviating, how do you pick those people up and make sure that they're not? Put them in the right route. And that's what we're all about here. And we see that not just in this, but also in the community. You know, the football club that I run is, you know, is in an area that's kind of less deprived of Herefordshire and lots of stuff. So, you know, we're seeing kids that are thriving out of the back of becoming coaches and refs and all these different things. So it works. You know, it definitely works.
So good to hear. Anything else you want to tell people that might be listening?
Embrace digital, as I said. So listen, support Small Business Saturday. It's really good. We've had some really good times over the last few years. We've done some really good presentations. In fact, I'll tell you a quick story. We did on our year that we won, which I think was 2018, we did a seminar where we invited a lot of people down on the day, and they come in the room and kind of listen to me do some talky stuff. They didn't all glaze over, some of them did. But the result of that, by the way, guys, is off the back of that, we did business with every single person in that room over a 5-year period. You know, so I think being involved with Small Business Saturday being fantastic for us, and we use it in the right way. You know, for one, developing relationships and working with other businesses, but also telling people that you're multi-award winning is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So apply for the awards, do it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. It's been super interesting, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Gemma. Thanks a lot. Take care.